Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Minecraft, which isn't loading properly. I say welcome back to Minecraft. I haven't played this in like 5 months. We're going back to the Skyblock modded game, if anybody remembers that, where I was making a bunch of machines in the clouds. It's my own custom mod pack. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not picking it up with. Yeah, I'm not picking it up with my OBS. OBS was picking up earlier and then it suddenly stopped picking it up. I think it's because it's loading. Is it working now? There we go. Yeah. It's taking some sweet time because it's been 5 months since I played last. Currently sitting here at 0%. Um, I've actually been loading Minecraft for the last, I don't know, 20 minutes, which is sort of giving me slight worry that it won't actually work. I am somewhat worried about that. Oh, hey, Professor Fang. Hey, Zara. It's nice to see you both. Um, we're just sitting here waiting for Minecraft to actually load. Um, Surely it will not just be at 0% forever. Oh, you can't hear me. You can't hear me. That's strange. That is still strange. Huh. Let me check something real quick. My, and that's all correct. I raised the volume a little bit. Maybe this helps. Oh, I've also supposed to have music this entire time, and I didn't have it. Um, Hopefully the music isn't drowning me out. Yeah, I meant to have the music on the entire time, and I didn't. Which is making me slightly worried that some of my streams I had no audio when I was doing collabs. That's a problem for future Kara to worry about, or at the past Kara. Current Kara is worrying about. Oh, we're nearly at 100%. That's good. So how's everybody doing today? Um, it actually took me a bit of effort to get, you know, but yeah, audio issues, and I'm switching back between two different like how would you call this? Scene collections, I think it is. Two different scene collections now. I used to just use one, but I feel like that was not good. Now I switch between two, but they have different settings. So if one is good and the other isn't, then I have to figure out why each time. We're we're nearly there. I am going to be slightly worried that maybe this is going to be a laggy mess that will just be completely unwatchable given how long it's taken for it to load, and that the last time I played it was a laggy mess. So, yeah, that's a concern that I'm having. Yeah, Thank you for that, Zaratara. I boy, it is just taking its time. It's never taken this long, but I'm just gonna assume that that's because it's been 5 months and my computer is like, "What? You want to play this again? Why?" Um, it used to load, in less than half an hour in the past. Like I was like getting Minecraft ready like 15 minutes before I even started the stream. So that in mind, this stream is just mostly going to be a dementia stream where I don't remember anything that I was doing. Um, on top of all the other problems that might be present. And those problems are probably multitudinous. I'm also starting to think I need a different browser because my current browser just uses so much of my memory. Um, I actually don't know if that would make a difference, but I feel like a browser should not use like a gigabyte of RAM for two windows. Like all I have open is like um Twitch and my email. It's using up a gigabyte of RAM. I don't feel like a browser should do that. Of course, it's also possible that my PC is not actually reporting the correct. It is really taking a long time, like a shockingly long time. I do not remember taking this long before. Just to load up Minecraft. Though I did used to pretty much load Minecraft before I even started streaming. Like before the stream would start, I would load up Minecraft. So this might be partly related to that. But yeah, it's taken forever. Does not bode well. But maybe all the really long load time will mean there won't be any lag. It's wishful thinking, but it's thinking I have. Because all I can have right now is wishful thinking. But yeah, I've been having like pretty bad back pain lately. And sitting in this chair that is like the least comfortable chair ever created by mankind is probably not helping with that. Um, so that's why I didn't stream all of last week. Partly that, and also because I couldn't really get together any collabs. Which before I was like, oh, I can go back to Minecraft. The only thing I had was like Stardew Valley, which I was doing with a friend, but he wasn't available last Friday. Um, though I think I'd be fine doing it without him. I don't think it. I'm sure he'd be fine otherwise. That would be nice, Zarataro. I don't know if I can or not. I don't actually know how much that would help either, to be honest. I have like two cushions under me right now, and I've taken like ibuprofen. But I was like recovering all of last week where I was like doing stretches, laying in bed all the time, using a heat pad, all that stuff. Hoping any of that would. It is it is just taking such a long time. I cannot believe how long it is taking. I've never experienced like it's clearly happening. Like Minecraft is clearly loading, it is just taking up such a long time, like a length of time I've never experienced before. Um, that it's crazy, really. I hate that all I can do is just sit here and talk while I'm waiting for it. Oh no no no! I cannot do that, Zero. Not when we've gotten this far. Like, who knows how long it would take if I tried restarting it. I'd prefer to wait a long time with the hopes that it will restart. I'm assuming that, yeah, yeah, we're just gonna sit here for the long haul. I'm sorry that I'm making everybody wait for this. Had I thought that it would take so long after loading up Minecraft, I would have just waited until I joined the world first before starting the stream. But alas, that is not the case. I just hope it doesn't crash. Because if it does, then all this waiting will truly be worthless. But yeah, I mean, it used to take a while, but it was nothing like this. And I can't think of why. Like, like I keep saying, oh, I haven't played in a long time, so that's clearly why it's taking so long. But I don't really know why that would truly have an effect on it. But I guess that's just how electronics are. Perhaps computers are more like us than we think, because like recent memories in somebody's mind are more easy to access and use correctly than like really old ones. So maybe computers are like that. You would think they wouldn't be. You would think that's like the one thing that they're not like us with, but starting to feel like maybe my computer has dementia. Um, which, wouldn't that be the funniest thing ever? Wonder if my playlist is going to go all the way through before it actually finishes loading. Okay. Now we've loaded the world, we can load the terrain. See, it is slowly happening. Okay. Okay, I'm hoping that we're not playing with 1 frame a minute, because it's not really playing the game if it's truly that bad. But surely it's just still loading, right? Oh boy. Let's just give it a moment to finish loading. Oh, this is not a good sign. This is not a good sign. Oh, this is not a good sign. Um. Oh, there we go. There's the textures. Okay. Ooh boy. Okay. Um. It is definitely laggy. That that is true. Like it cannot be denied that it is laggy. But yeah, there is. Uh, but you know what? It's it's the game. I should probably turn this off. That'll solve some of my lag issues. That being said, that running all the time is kind of what I want to have happen, though. Can I turn you to 0? I cannot turn you to 0. Oh, I've overstressed it. Which isn't the same as turning it to 0, unfortunately. Oh boy, the lag is just truly abominable. Bad signs all around. Okay. Is the lag finished? Doesn't feel like it is. Ooh boy. Maybe that wasn't a significant cause of lag. Some slight diagnostic work over here. Just the lag. Thank you for that, Zara. I'm glad that my voice is coming in clearly. Please. The lag. It is much laggier than it used to be. Let me go over here real quick. Okay. So what have I learned? That this is really laggy. Still very laggy. I mean, create is like that. It produces a lot of lag. So this machine does not need to run anymore. It doesn't really do anything for me. Is it? Man. No, it is not even remotely good. It is bad. It is really, really bad. It is really, really bad. Like, yeah, I'm getting like 3, 4 frames per second. Truly abysmal. This is what I get for wanting to play with mods. Makes the lag that I get in Stardew Valley look like nothing. Yeah, I get like 1 and 0 frames per second situations going. Yeah, this is me just sitting here. I'm just sitting here and lagging like to an extent that is just not even remotely like playable. We're gonna write this one off as a test stream. Feels like I'm gonna have to write this one off as a test stream. Hmm. I'm curious about something. I'm curious about something. Okay, okay, okay. Let's open up the good old menu. I don't think this is gonna be okay. Like what? There's no like beating around the bush here. This is not playable. There's just no. I don't think so, or maybe it's just not playable at all. Um, like suddenly when I have the menu open, it's not so laggy. Um, so with that being the case, I'm gonna consider another option. Let's try making a new world. After that one saves itself. Huh. That was much worse than I expected it to be. Because I expected it to be kind of like it used to be, and that's way worse than it used to be. So, I'm thinking let's try making a new world. That's not Skyblock. I don't know why a not Skyblock world would be better, but let's just try. And if that's bad, then I will sit and think about things, because that's kind of all you can do in that scenario. Um, like I get it. I have a lot of mods, and in that scenario that we just saw there, and the build that I was building for months and months. Um, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts there. Um, so you could argue that all those moving parts and all that junk contributed to it being really laggy. And it's not wrong. At the same time, um, that if that is the case, then just making a new world won't be a super laggy experience. It's not a good sign that it's been validating select data packs for a very long time. That's not a good sign for that that idea that I had, which would imply that perhaps no, it's going to be kind of a problem. Um, kind of a problem indeed. It's nice that I fixed my computer crashing. I just there's this other problem where my computer sucks for everything else. Okay, new world. Oh boy, that is not a good sign that just removing text is laggy. We're gonna go with hello Twitch. Um, survival normal. Don't allow cheats on because sometimes you just need it. Let's just go with whatever world the game gives me. Warning, there are settings using experimental features. These settings are experimental. Could one day stop working. Do you wish to proceed? Yes. think I think it actually says that every time you play with mods. I could be wrong. I have a backup if none of this works. Unfortunately, that backup is not playing Minecraft. I could just play some vanilla Minecraft, but I kind of would rather do something slightly more ambitious than doing that. Um, that being said, I am somewhat concerned about how long this process is going to take. Maybe it'll be really fast. You never know. Generating an entire new Minecraft world with like several hundred mods, surely that won't take a really long time. Surely I haven't made a huge mistake. And I should have just gone to the backup that I just thought of right now instead. Are we in not responding? Yep, we're in not responding mode. In other news I could talk about, I've been dieting recently. Been ah, okay. See? You know, it's happening. Yeah, I've been dieting recently, trying to lose weight. I kind of feel like that would also help with my back problems that I've been talking about because your weight, a lot of your weight ends up putting a lot of pressure on your back. Um, so that's been something. I've lost like I don't know around 5 pounds since I started. Yeah, I mean I've been slowly doing diet like things for many years. Like I used to drink like 3 sodas every day, and I slowly crept down from that to just drinking tea, and then I removed the sugar from my tea. Surely that did help. I just wasn't tracking my weight back then, but it doesn't. I never felt like it actually did anything. Um, like the amount of food that I need to avoid putting in my body seems somewhat extreme. It's not truly extreme, but it is like less than 2,000 calories every day to lose weight. Um, I suppose that is due to inactivity, but I started exercising a lot more like a couple of years ago. And I've never had like a strict routine of exercise, but I've had like a an exercise routine that was like noticeable. Like it was one that not regular, but not one that I would ever say that I like completely fell off of. Like the last time I really lost a lot of weight was when I got sick and all I could eat was soup for a week. And that definitely did something, but it didn't really last. This is taking a bit of time. Truly, truly taking a bit of time. Riveting content. This is part of my problem as a streamer. I actually don't like I I don't know if this is something that like I'm unique in or not, but I'm more of a streamer that truly prefers playing games as collaborations. Like do it like I've been doing streaming by myself for enough time. Most of my streams are just me sitting here talking into the void. Sometimes there'll be somebody there in chat. A lot of times, not so much. But my preferred way of doing things is just doing them with somebody else. Um, and it's times like these that it really hits at home that that's my preferred way of doing things. It's just so difficult to make that happen. Until you have a big community, you can't really do community sort of stuff. And collaborating with other streamers is complicated, and and I'm very bad at like making that happen. Um, Especially for anybody who's a bigger streamer than me, which is basically everybody I know. Like there are rare few people who have less followers than me, and even those who do have less than me, they have more viewers that are regular. So it's just like I'd love to stream with other people. Um, Uno, yeah, we could always play Uno together. My eye twitches. That's the other problem is the playing games with other people. Uh, Before I started streaming, the issue I had with that's actually why I started streaming because I wanted to play games with other people. Um, because I struggled so much to have it happen before I became a streamer. And one of the key problems that I ran into is I could really never get people to play games I wanted to play, or I was never interested in the games that anybody around me were playing. Um, and then there's also just the issue of technological limitations. Like as you can see, my computer cannot exactly handle the most hardcore stuff. Admittedly, 10 years ago it would have been a lot better. Um, mhm. Well, if you have tabletop simulators, I could do basically all tabletop games. Like I've tons of board games I'd love to play with other people. Like my in fact my backup to if this doesn't work and if this is a laggy hellhole that should never be witnessed by mankind, I'm gonna play a board game that you can play solo. Because I don't want to just have this entire stream be a chatting stream while we watch Minecraft play with itself. I have a bunch of mods to optimize Minecraft too, by the way, installed. So it's not just like, oh, I pumped a bunch of mods and the mods are why this is the thing. Like a lot of the mods supposed to make Minecraft work better than vanilla, but they are fighting against the other mods that I installed, which are the complete opposite. Also, might just be the case that create as a mod is just not compatible with my lifestyle. Which, if that's the case, that's just the case. Ideally, I'd love to play more with Create because Create's a really fun mod. But it feels like maybe that won't work out. in the long run. That and anything that uses lava. Lava seems to really cause a lot of, well, anything that like creates particles, like like campfire stuff. That's actually really kind of what was causing the lag there. Is I had like 50 campfires underneath my house. At least I hope that was what was causing the lag. If it was something else, then I truly don't have any idea. But in prior testing months ago, it was definitely the campfires that were pretty responsible for it. Okay, 100% of the world is generated. Now, would Minecraft like to finish and let me start playing the game? The one saving grace that I'm kind of leaning on with the idea of let's try doing like an actual world is that part of why Skyblock might end up becoming more laggy than not is because you have to have things so self-contained within Skyblock. Whereas in like a normal Minecraft, yeah, sure you have a base, but you can really spread things out a lot more because you have, you know, it's so much easier to build things in 3 dimensions when you're not floating in the sky and you have to build things with your bare hands out of literally nothing. Um, I could just walk like 1,000 blocks away and build something, and you know, then it's doing the things there. I could make trains to run between different areas to sort of facilitate that, and hopefully the trains wouldn't cause a bunch of lag. This sure is taking a bit of time, isn't it? It would also be better if I wasn't, playing in single player, if I had like a server that this ran on. That would basically solve the problem too, but I'm not exactly in a position where I can get a server. Hello, Jester. Welcome to watching Minecraft load. Uh, we've been here an hour watching Minecraft load. Uh, Trust me. Yeah. Okay, we're joining a world. Yes, this is the watching Minecraft load stream. Hope you enjoy it. Uh, if Minecraft continues to be a problem, I have a backup. So this will not just be watching a miserable Minecraft experience the entire stream. I will move to something else soon. Yeah, it's basically been a just chatting stream with Minecraft as a background. Uh, but let's see if that can change here. Currently, um, I'm not hopeful. Well, I should say my hopes are not great. Good old 5 FPS. No, it's definitely less than 5. We're at 0 FPS at the moment. 1 frame a minute, maybe. It's still loading. It's still getting its bearings. Like, it needs to load up this entire world, for my render distance. I might have had my render distance a bit high. I'll check that after it's finished. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Yep, we're just rendering right now. Still rendering. I wish time would stop moving while it renders. If I go to my menu, will it continue to render without time moving? I would prefer if that was the case. It doesn't seem that to be that the case though, which is awkward. So what are my render distances? Oh, they're not that high. Never mind. Well, this is not as bad as before. It's not great. In fact, the world is not looking so good. I'll move into the direction where things seem to be less laggy. And I'll just pretend that what's behind me doesn't exist. Sure are a lot of sheep here. No. Yeah, I should remember never to look behind myself. Whatever's behind me is truly a big problem. Because it does make things laggy. Oh, the lag. Back to 0 frames per second for some reason. I'll tolerate a bit more of this, and hopefully it will improve. And then, once we're finished with tolerate, is that a snake? No. Why? What are you? You don't look like a normal Minecraft wolf. How much longer can I continue to stand this laggy world before I'm like, you know what? Let's just give up on this and play some board games. Yeah, you look weird. Is that a village? Oh, that's convenient. I mean, it's not great. It's not the worst ever. Thank you, thing that is telling me I have updates. I don't know why you chose to do this now. You never do this. So you've chosen now for some reason. Um, Whoa, this is a big village. That feels like just slightly bigger than a normal village usually is. Maybe it's the village that was causing all the lag, now that I think about it. That being said, doesn't feel good that a village is this laggy. Please, game, I beg you, can you please, you know, do all the things that you need to do and then, give me a nice playing experience that isn't super laggy? I know that I'm asking for a lot here. I know this game is basically unplayable to anybody but me, and I'm the only one who's gotten this close. And I'm not just deluding myself. And this isn't a game that you can definitely just run on a toaster. And is basically the Doom of 3D games. I guess Doom is a 3D game, but who would think that opening a door would cause such lag? I'm losing hope. I'm thinking to myself, there must be something that the game is just like really taking a long time to like figure itself out. And once it actually has that figured out, then the whole entire experience will improve and it won't be like this anymore. I'm really just coping as much as you could possibly imagine on this one. Like, there is nobody on this earth coping as much as I'm coping right now on this. Where opening a door has frozen my Minecraft. I don't remember opening my inventory either. Oh wait, no, didn't I? I did open my inventory. Oh boy. Soul is about to leave my body. Hello. Don't mind me. What even is this? It's not something you could use like a chess. And oh, it is something you can use like a chess. It's a wooden storage crate. Specialized projectiles. That's the same thing, isn't it? Right? Great items hold shift. Dragon's breath. Oh, are they not the same? I'm real close. Real close, chat. Right on the edge on this one. It's probably the campfire's fault, to be honest. How much longer of this can I really take, to be honest? From a like a professional's perspective, like the though it is truly some ironic words calling myself a professional here. Is that ironic? I'm not sure that's ironic. Which is to say, I'm not sure irony is the term that I'm meaning to use for this. No more of this. No more of this. I refuse. I refuse to put anybody, including myself, through any more of that. Let's give Minecraft a minute here to close but then I will get the consolation prize started. I guess at some point I'll work on like maybe making that mod pack not the most laggy thing I've ever experienced. It's true. Is that making a reference to yes, purgatory? That is a long-standing reference in my community, Jester, to the experience of me ever playing Minecraft. It's never a good sign when Minecraft takes a long time to close. Okay, there we go. All right. Please stop taking as long as physically possible for me to do anything. Wait, Minecraft, why are you still here? Please, I asked that you close. I was pretty sure I watched you die. Why are you still here? Why do you still haunt me? Okay. You're asking me to pull out the big guns now. I'm hitting him with the task manager chat. There we go. Why are you coming? I don't even know what you are, but why are you here? In Minecraft, why are you returning back to life? Yes, I know you crashed. I'm the one who crashed you. Pulled me over here. Okay. Let me give me some time here real quick. Okay, I'm back, but I don't know why Tabletop Simulator is flipped upside down. Let me fix that real quick. Um, there we go. Okay, let's play us some Tabletop Simulator. No, now it's flipped. Um, there we go. Sorry about that. Uh, all right, I'm gonna play a board game by myself, chat. Now I understand. I hear you. I hear you out. But chat, listen to me. This game's actually kind of fun to play, and it has a single player. Well, like it's sort of a game that works no matter how many players you have. Um, so that game is called Spirit Island. Let me add it my stream real quick. Let's see, tabletop simulator. Yep, much smaller audience for the old tabletop simulator. So this is going to take a bit of time to load, but I promise you, chat, once it's actually loaded, it'll be a game. And it won't just be sitting here for an hour watching me just do nothing. Oh, what a frustrating experience. I truly apologize for forcing you all to go through that. Um, in the meantime, I will be right back again. Um, so give me a second. Okay, chat. I have returned, and the game's almost finished. Look at that. I'm gonna have to do something with the chat box, though. That is one kind of problem. I'm not. It's not easy for me to look at chat while I'm doing this. I'll try to set something up here, though, that'll work. Hmm. Let me let me get this game finished loading first before I start messing with it. All right, seems to be finished. Oh, well, yes, now it seems to be finished. Let me um it's gonna look a little bit weird for a hot second here. Um okay. Now what's it look like in Yeah. Oh, we'll just do that and then put it behind me and everybody else. There. Actually, how I changed it makes it even better. So, hey. All right, chat. So this is a game called Spirit Island. The concept of this board game is that you are a spirit. Okay, that's not a lot of detail, but you're a spirit who is like on an island, and you live peacefully with the natives of that island. However, invaders from a conquering nation are coming to uh your island, and that really ticks you off. So you're going to do a bunch of stuff to get them to leave. Um, the thing is that you're a spirit, so you don't really care about collateral damage very much. So ultimately, it's just to get those invaders to leave. So as you can see, number of players can be anything between 1 and 6. There's just one in this game, obviously. You can pick from a variety of invaders. There's Prussia, England, Sweden, France, the Habsburgs, which kind of is like it's a mixture between like the Germans and the Spanish. There's Russia, which we're choosing, and Scotland. Um, they can also have like a backup adversary, but we're not going to worry about that because playing this game single player is not easy. And one thing I like to choose thematic boards. Um, and I want to read a scenario real quick. Um, I'm thinking I'm going to do this one because I believe it makes the game faster. So this scenario can be fun for anybody to try, but it's particularly meant for players who find they prefer a more play and resolve style of game. Uh, with the uh, to the planning ahead required for spirit slow powers. All powers are fast. Powers which were already fast or made fast cost 1 less energy. When exploring once per board, add an additional explorer. If the island becomes blighted, put 1 less per board on the blight card. Setup changes. Put an additional blight per board on the blight card. The invaders get an additional set of actions at the end of setup. So they will explore, then build, then explore. In hindsight, I don't like that because I don't like giving them the ability to explore a lot. So that's actually not so good. Uh, that's kind of a problem because I've I've played this game several times, and each time that I've played it with other players, it never felt like we were going to win until we did, and we always won. But um, when I played by myself, I always lost. Also, I'm going to turn the uh, user colored thematic boards randomize extra island. All right, so let's look at our options for our spirits. They have a range from low complexity all the way up to like very high complexity. As you can see, there are a bunch of very strange things like devour teeth, lurk underfoot, eyes watch from the trees, fathomless mud of the swamp, rising heat of sown stand, sun bright whirlwind. This one looks like a person, but it's actually a spirit that uh controls people, the natives of the game that you're playing. There's vital strength of the earth, um, shadow flicker like flame, lightning swift strike, and river surge and sunlight, and so many more. And they all have different qualities. Like this one is very offensive. It doesn't have much control, fear, defense, or utility. This one more defensive. This one's sort of a mix where it has less utility and control, but is sort of a mix of a variety. It's balanced, you might say. This is offensive. This one is control without very much defense. Um, this one is offense control with very little utility. This one's very defensive. This one has a lot of fear, control, and offense, but not very much defense utility. So, what I kind of ran into when I played this game by myself is I ran into the issue of wherever my weakness was in the game, it was exploited like really a lot by the the enemy, you know. So I think that I'd be best off by choosing one of these that is balanced. Um, so the mud has a good look to it in terms of like a balanced setup. Um, so does the ocean's hungry grasp. Ideally, it would be one that is like balanced but has a bit of an offense to it as well, or defense, offense or defense. What to choose? This guy just looks cool. Bringer of dreams and nightmares. Ideally, I wouldn't want to choose um a high complexity when I'm playing on stream by myself because I have to do both the actions of the spirit and the enemy. I guess we're gonna go with Fathomless Mud of the Swamp. I've played this one too. Fear and defense is not very high. Yeah, let's go with mm, offense high there, offense high there, offense is high there. Um, this one seems a little bit more balanced, but it doesn't have very good defense. Yeah, this one actually, this is kind of balanced too. It's got defense, control. Its offense is kind of weak though, and ultimately, I would like a little bit of defense. So let's choose this spirit. So we'll get into whatever is going on over here in a real hot second. Let me get the board started. We're gonna fight against Russia on a thematic board. I guess while it's loading, I'll talk about what's going on over here. So basically, uh, first things first, let's look at the front of this board. The island has many swamp deltas along its coasts. Some are barely navigable, while others are mazes of murky water, tangled trees, lands that uh, and land that isn't nearly so solid as it appears. Fathomless mud of swamp is one of the latter sorts, with a penchant for spreading. It likes to get everywhere, slowly turning solid ground into muck and mire. Some Dahan villages, the Dahan are the natives, have struck fruitful bargains with it. Easy passages and useful plants in exchange for tasks more easily done by human hands. Most, however, will move on to new living grounds year years early should they notice sudden signs of it moving into their area. So set up, you put two somethings on your starting board in the lowest numbered wetlands. You start with 4 unique power cards, 0 energy. Playing style likes having whatever that symbol is, which I'll explain in a bit, where invaders will build, but may need to recreate those after oozing outwards with its innate power. In smaller games, it might be able to cut off most inland lands from explore actions by destroying inland towns and cities and stopping new ones from being built. Causes a fair bit of fear, much which resonates unpleasantness, hardship, and disgust. So it says put two of those things on your starting board in the lowest number of wetlands. That's these. They are called presences. So let's just start with doing that. You put two of them into that place, so they will be stacked. And you notice that once they stack, they have this pattern to them. This is a sacred site. That's what it's called. And it has some utility that we may get into when that becomes important. Um, I want to pick up the stack. These, pick up the stack. There we go. So we need the lowest numbered wetlands. So this is a 2. That's a good shot for the lowest number. That's a 7. Not many wetlands on this board. That's not a good sign for us. We like wetlands. So that's where we set ourselves up at. We also have a special rule: offer no firm foundations at your sacred sites. Build actions add a explorer instead of a town or city. We'll get into explaining what that is here in a second. So first things first, how this game starts off is that this is a board. It has many things on it. If you don't understand what you're looking at, I don't blame you. But let's just start off with what happens. Before the game even begins, the invaders get a turn where they get to explore. So we flip this card, and they're some. Oh wait, sorry. We explore. Huh. Okay. I did what I did before was wrong. So they explore. So what this indicates is they will explore into areas that have this texture on them. That's like sand. So what that means is anywhere that they have like a town like this, that's um, town or city. I believe that's a city. No, that's a town. And anywhere that the coast has access. So you might think that this blue void here is the ocean, but it is not actually. That's just blue void. Where the ocean is along this coastline, like so. Um, and so what happens is that when the invaders explore, you take one of these, and anywhere that they explore into, which was that area, you you put one of these up. Now, however, this is an area that has wilds. Prevents the next explorer. So they will not actually be able to explore here, but this wilds is removed. So they will just explore into this one. They cannot explore here because there is no town or coastline next to it. Town, city, or coastline. One of the two. So they will explore here, even though it's an area they're already in, they will still explore it. And there's a town next to it, to this one, so they will explore into there. There's a coast here, and you might see that they have explorers here and here. No town next to this, so they will not explore into there. So that's their setup. And once their setup is done, we will move to my turn. So my turn as the spirit begins as such. I will choose a growth. This will be one of these three options. Either reclaim cards and add presence to any area that this indicates how far from another presence I have. Any effect that you want to have will have some indication of being have a range related to your presence somewhere. Either it will be a range to from your presence or a sacred site. This is just from a presence, and you add basically, and this being at a 0 range, you would add presence into an area you already have presence to. So that's one option. Another option is add a presence anywhere that is one away from wherever you have presence, and you do it twice. And you add them from here. And when you do that, you actually uncover things, as you will see. And this is one where you gain a power, add 1, 2 away, and then gain 2 energy. Energy is used for your cards. As you see, this card has 0 in the upper hand corner, so that gives you 0 energy, or requires 0 energy. This one requires 2, and this one requires 1. And you just start out with 4 of these, but you can get more, as you see here. You gain power card. And so that's my first choice. Um, as you remove presence from here and add it to the board, the amount of energy you get every turn goes up, and you also unlock these elements. These elements are important because various powers are powered by them. For instance, if I had a plant, this one would always be turned on, and they're tracked up here. So let me show you. If I remove this presence here, I would always have a 1 of green, a 1 of plant. However, they work in sequential order, so this would never be important, really. But if you didn't unlock the first one, you wouldn't unlock any of the others below this. This one uses water. Um, this one uses moon, water, and stone. And, they progressively need more, and this one finally uses green. So when you get tiles, you genuinely want to get tiles that use more of the because when you play cards, you also get the elements, and as you can see, by playing that card, I've unlocked one of my powers. Um, Furthermore, when you unlock presence here, you get to play multiple cards per turn. So that's the game right now. That is the game right now. And this game is all about planning and reacting quickly or slowly to situations that are unfolding on the island. So let's talk about those situations that are unfolding on the island. So first things first, looking down the time, we can see that they are going to be building on the sands next year. What that means is that in any zone that has a explorer or a town, just any presence at all, they will add a town unless they already have a town. If they already have a town, they will add a um city, but they can only do it on tiles that have, you know, presence, and are using this type of tile. So they have a town in this green area, right? And they have explorers over here. They cannot build there when they do build, nor in this area here. So that that all being the case, um, I should make choices that impact their build, because the less of their building that happens, then the less of a problem they're going to be for me in the future. Um, so let's look at my cards. Target Spirit may pay 1 energy to gain a power card. Um, you may pay 2 energy and gain a power card. Now, the issue with this card is, you see it has a speed of turtle. That means it's slow. And what that effectively means is that, um, actually, I can kind of show that. Where's the buttons? Um, I remember there being over here. Show spirit card editor. Show rule books. Player aids. That wasn't what I was looking for. I remember there being a way of, oh, turn order. Yes, you see over here, the turn order tracker. So it is my turn. I will grow. I will gain energy. I'll choose powers. Fast powers happen afterwards, and fast powers are like this card here. As you see, it's red. That will happen before the invaders' turn. And then the invaders get to do everything they want, and then slow powers take into action. And I'm kind of slow. So I need to do a lot of planning, or I need to pick up a lot of fast cards. So for instance, this thing won't ever do anything unless it's on, you know, after the invaders make their turn. Now, what's important is that it also has range, which doesn't have any indication, so it can be range anything, and target another player. That's what that sign is. The player sign and says another. It means that this card I can never use because I'm playing by myself, which is unfortunate. So there's this card as well. Speed. It has range, and you see that symbol. We should now recognize that as the sacred site symbol. So it has a range of 2 from any sacred site, and it must target a land that has invaders in it. And what it does is it gives you one that symbol, and it pushes up to 2 uh, um, explorers. That symbol is this symbol. So it's called fear. And the more fear we get, the we get we unlock terror levels. And that means the victory conditions of the game change. So currently, we will not win this game until all of the cities are gone, the towns are gone, and the explorers are gone, which is hard. But as we get terror, we will unlock more terror, and then our victory conditions just become easier, until we ultimately unlock, you know, this. Was there anything important for the Tsardom of Russia? Additional loss condition. Put um put beast token destroyed by adversary rules on this panel. Um, if there are ever more on this panel than on the island, the invaders win. So there is they have an extra win condition where if they kill more beasts than are on the island, they win the game. which is an extra win condition versus the me lose condition, which is a bit of a bother, you know? So, we'll talk about how that might end up happening later. So right now I need to think about what I can do. I can gather 2 Dahada, which means that in the land that I target, they are pulled from surrounding lands and end up in that land. If Dahada and invaders are present, 1 fear and 1 damage. So as long as they're Dahana or Dahan in a area that I target, fear will happen and I will do damage. Now, important thing to know is explorers they have 1 hit point, towns they have 2 hit points, and cities have 3. When a town takes like 1 point of damage, it will uh heal that damage when the turn is over. So um it's kind of like Magic the Gathering, where if creatures do damage to each other but they're not destroyed, that damage is healed when the turn is over. Um, but as long as you do enough damage to kill them, then that's relevant. Uh, this strife symbol, I don't remember what this strife symbol actually signifies. Um, blocks a specific invader's damage the next time they damage the land and or Dahan, and is then removed. Blocks. Okay, so the next time they do damage, it won't do anything, which could be in my advantage. So it's something to think about. Anyway, let's look at my fast power real quick. 1 fear and defend 5. This is not useful. What defend is so you see that they're on build right now. Next turn, after this turn goes by, this build card will be moved over to Ravage. And when they ravage, they deal damage to the land, which creates blight. And they deal, whenever they create blight, whenever they deal damage to the land, they deal damage to the Dahan. And if the Dahan, any Dahan that exists after they deal damage to them, deal damage back to the invaders. If you defend that land, it removes 5 or however much damage from the stack, and that damage just doesn't happen. However, the attempt at damaging still goes through, and the Dahan will still react to it. So that is important. So now we've outlined what I can do. Let's actually do something with it. I also have the extra power so that at um, anywhere that I have a sacred site, when they build, they just get explorers instead. So if I was to perhaps put a sacred site into this tile, if they build, they won't actually make like a city or anything. There are still this spot, and this spot worth worrying about though. So doing damage would help. And can I do or pushing? Pushing would also work. Um I kind of think I have an idea as to what I want to do. Keep in mind, I have a slow power. Actually, no, that slow power is not going to do for me what I want to do. So if I could move into here before they would build, that would be relevant. But the only way that I can do that is by moving 2 of my presences in there. It may still be what I choose to do. Because currently I have no way of stopping them from building. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's the plan. I'd like to get another card, but genuinely, unless I drew like a card that gave me the ability to do damage, it would not be in my benefit. I can push, but that's not going to help. That town is the biggest issue. I need to do something. I can't knock over that town this turn. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to move our presence into this spot. And unlock the ability to cast 2 cards per turn. So what cards to play? Um, well, before anything, we should gain energy. So this is the energy that we can use to play cards. So I still won't be able to use this ability, but that's fine. I should, though, probably try to unlock that next turn if possible. I could move the Dahan somewhere. I could defend this, basically stopping that. I could also defend here, but I think it's actually better that I don't. Because next turn it will be more useful to me. Could I possibly move here? I'd need to be. This would need to be 2, and it's not. So let's say I use this card. Is it also possible for me to unlock 2 slow powers? I would need to play a card that has blue and uh, earth. So one of these two. This one I can't play. This one I can. If I did do this, I would unlock the ability to do damage. And push the Mm-hmm. So I could yeet this out. And then certainly an interesting idea. How far away does my innate power? 1. Fair enough. I think this is the plan. This ability to push also means that I will be able to defend another spot. Where do I want to defend? I could defend here. I don't know if it's worth defending here, though, or here. I might just defend here. Well, I'll be pushing this explorer out of this area. Though pushing here might be worth it too. Now this is a slow power too, isn't it? Oh, that being slow means I won't really be able to do what I want. I won't be able to actually do anything about this explorer over here. They will get to build. Or should I push them out? Um, I think I'll push here. Yeah. Well, none of this really matters. I'm gonna pay for my power. Like I'm sitting here thinking like my powers are fast, and that's something I often make the mistake of doing. Um, but my powers are not fast. So the invaders. So the invaders, they will have a. This is how the invaders phase goes. So they will do anything that says anything on the blight card, and it's a healthy island, so the blight card is not going to trigger. It's not going to do anything. Um, and then they will do anything related to fear. I have no fear cards, so that's not important. They will then ravage. They're not ravaging right now, so that's not relevant. Um, they will build. So it is build time. So anywhere that is an invader on it that is in a area that has sand, they will build. So ultimately, my card choices weren't as important as I thought they were. Or maybe they were, and I was just wrong. Now they're going to try to build here, but because I have double presence there, a sacred site, they can only actually make another explorer. Which is super relevant because they were going to get a city, and that was just going to make this area a real big problem for me. Because cities, as you can see, are a big problem. So they build, now they explore. Now they're exploring into the mountains. Anywhere that they have, so this mountains has no access to the coast nor to a town, so they will just explore here. And here. And those are the only mountains. So pretty good. Once we get to jungle though, boy, the options they will have. But that is also meaning that you're going to be able to build there next turn. And once they're done, they've done their explore. Um, they advance the cards. This is them advancing. Now we're entering slow power phase. Now this is when all of my choices are going to be important. So I can choose to order these abilities at any speed that I want. So with that being the case, I have an ability that does damage with a card and an innate ability. Now, how that's going to work is if I want to use this innate ability, I must first move a presence from a sacred site to target land, and it has to be one around. So I could choose. I can actually choose this one or this one or this one down here to do damage. And ideally, I want to knock over a town. If hmm, thing is that there's another element to this. This Badlands means that when damage occurs in this area, um, it is increased by one, and there's two in this area, so it'll be increased by two. So if I do one damage to anything here, I'll basically be dealing three damage. So I could wipe this area completely out. I could kill both the town and the explorer. That might be the choice I make. I'd be moving my Dahan in there. The Dahan won't take any of the damage because they're not getting damaged. Only the invaders will be. So I think that's going to be the idea. I'm going to move here, and I have to gather up to 2 Dahan. Is it up to 2 or is it exactly 2? Up to 2. Should I gather any, to be honest? I think I will. I think I will. Though I don't have to gather from here. I could just gather from here, and I think that's the better idea. There, my Dahan. You know what? Screw it. Stack them. Now, this will do 1 damage. And I'm going to choose the Explorer. He takes 3 damage. He dies. Also do another 1 damage to this town, which will be increased to 3, which it dies. Whenever a town or a city, I think actually when a city goes, let me explain. When a town goes, you generate 1 fear. When a city goes, you generate 2 fear. Um, so that's something. Additionally, I will already generate 1 fear from this card. And from my innate power, I also generate fear. Now there's this card here. So 2 from a sacred site, I can push up to 2. So push is I choose a land, and I can push anything from that land to somewhere else. And what I think I'm going to do is this mountains is 2 away from one of my sacred sites. You go 1, 2. I want to push them somewhere that they won't be able to build this turn. And I think a good place for that is into this Badlands. Because they're going to ravage. No, not into this Badlands. No, that's a bad idea, actually. Because they'll do extra damage to the Dahan, and then the Dahan won't be able to defend. So actually into here. Because they're going to ravage here next turn. Going to kill this one Dahan. So actually, no, I should have moved that. I wasn't thinking. Like so. And now the Dahan there won't be damaged. Actually, no, I want them there. I want them there. I have plans. Because I have a card that defends. That'll be important. Okay. That's this card, and it gives me fear. So let's get some more fear. And now that this phase is over, we do one last thing, which is pass time, which I don't know where that where is pastime at? Supposed to be a button for it. It's up here somewhere. No. Oh, time passes. There we go. So time passes, and you'll notice that my cards are down here, not in my hand again. That is because they are currently not be able for me to use them, not unless I reclaim them. Just checking something. So some spirits on their card presence board, they get reclaim 1, so you'd reclaim 1 every turn. This spirit does not. It just has, if you want to reclaim any of them, you have to reclaim them all. But it is back to my turn now, so I can choose to grow. Well, I have to choose to grow, and I can choose from these many options. Um, so let's think about this. Happening next turn is a Ravage. I definitely want to protect here, but it'll be difficult for me to protect everywhere, unfortunately. This is going to get Ravage, and there's nothing I can stop it. This is going to Ravage. And currently, as far as I know, I can't stop this or that. There's also a build next turn, and there's only a build happening there, and I could maybe even stop that. Um, I would need to double presence there again. To stop that build. Unless I got a card that was fast and did damage. The fact that I don't have a card that does that right now is worth considering. And get extra energy. Which presence would I use? The energy one or this one? It's hard saying. Um, what's gamble? Let's. Which is the best gamble for us right now? Yeah, let's gamble. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get a card that will let me do fast speed damage into this area. I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need some energy for that. Um. So we're gonna move my presence. I'm gonna move my presence into here just because I don't trust that whatever card I get won't require me to have presence there. We're unlocking this one. We're gonna get 2 extra energy just by choosing this kind of growth, and we're gonna get power card. Major power could do it. A major power could do it. And the thing about major powers is the way they work is you forget a card, any card, and you just can't ever use that card again. Um, but major powers are stronger than the minor ones. And if we're gonna gamble, let's do a big gamble. Let's look at these big old cards. Let's give our focus on the speed ones right now. So because that's what we need. We wanna stop a build quickly. Um, though enough damage to basically undo um the effect would also be useful. So there's this one over here. The problem with choosing that is when I gain my energy, I'll only be at 4, so I won't actually be able to use that card this turn. Same thing with this one. So hopefully one of these two are gonna be able to do it for us. So this one, target land and a land adjacent to it become a single land for this turn. It has the terrain and land type of land number of both lands. When this effect expires, divide pieces as you wish. All of them are considered moved. That's certainly a very interesting power. Um, how would that help us? There is theoretically a way that that could actually do something for us. Um, the way that it would work is that, let's say that I chose that card. Um, I could choose to have these lands be considered one land. If I did that, they would the invaders would ravage this land because they are ravaging in the sands this turn, and they would um build. So they would make a town and they would ravage. The problem is that in an ideal scenario, they would take damage from the Dahan I have in this area. But they're actually the Dahan are going to take like so much more extra damage. Um, they're going to take enough that they would just be completely wiped out, and they will never attack back. If they could attack back, it would wipe out everything. So that card not helpful, unfortunately. So this one though, bargain. So I would gain an extra presence that is a land that has Dahan in it, and -1 energy per turn. Mark both target land and another land with 2 or more Dahan. After pieces are added or removed into the marked lands, choose any land, then move those pieces directly onto that land. After pieces are added or moved onto marked lands, choose any land, then move those pieces directly onto that land. This is a very complicated power. It would just give me an extra presence, but I would also lose 1 energy every turn, which I don't know about that. Mark both target land and another land with 2 or more Dahan. And whenever pieces are added or moved to target lands, or are moved in, whenever pieces are added or moved into marked lands, choose any land, then move those pieces directly to that land. So, geez, what a complicated power. What I think that means is that, let's say I chose this land and that land, or let's say I chose this land. I would move a presence into here. Uh, and then I would. Ooh, does this have to be at a range 0? It does have to have Dahan though. This doesn't have Dahan, so I couldn't use that to stop the build, unfortunately. Um, I could choose this one, or this one. So basically, if I chose, like I said, this land, I would add the extra presence, -1 energy per turn. Those are understandable. I would mark this land and 1 more land. If pieces are added to those lands, I can move them to any other lands on the board. That could maybe work. That could maybe actually work. That could possibly do. some work for us. And I think I know where I'm going to choose. Yeah, I think that's the card that we're going to take. The other one's really strong, but I won't even get them off this turn. I'm just not getting enough energy per turn. Like, I guess next turn I will. Well, even so, it's rough. It's a rough one. Like these ones that cost 5. Uh, let's go with this. Pick power. Don't forget to forget a power card, and I will forget this one because I can't use it now. Now I will gain my energy. I have 2. I have 4, and I have 2 cards. They both cost 2, so let's use them. I will unlock my slow power this turn, my innate slow power. It'll still just be a tier 2. Um, but I have both of these. This one I will be able to use to defend here, and basically nothing will happen. And this one I have a plan for. So let's pay for our stuff. We have no energy left over, and flip. It's fast power turn. All right, let's do our fast power. So first off, we gain some fear, and now we unlock the fear card. Um, and defend. Let's add our defend marker here. It's going to defend 5. So 5 damage on this board just won't go through. So 1 damage will, because there's 6 damage worth of invaders there. And 1 damage is not enough to blight the land, and it won't hurt the Dahan. The bargain of coursing paths. How am I going to mark? I need some sort of marker. I have an idea. If I put this here, will that act as a marker, and will it affect this? Don't think so. Nope. Okay, that's an area I'm marking, and this is an area I'm marking. Boy, that is hard to see. Hmm. Instead of that, let's use water. That is easier to see. Even in the wetlands, you can tell. So, if anything, if any pieces are added to these 2 boards, I can just move them wherever I want. That's a big deal. Lastly, I do get a present somewhere. Hmm. I'm going to use this one because now I'm getting less energy per turn. This was the board I chose. Let's say that this was the board I chose. No, it can't be. It has to be this one. Right. So I must lose 1 energy every turn. I'm not sure how I'm going to track that. I'll track it like that, maybe. Did I use everything? Defend 4. I mark them. 2 or more. Oh, 2 or more Dahan. I couldn't have done it the way that I thought I was doing. I have to have chosen this one and this one. Or there. I'm gonna choose here. That's what I get for not reading cards. So, in fact, my plan will not work. Well, it was a gamble after all. All right, it's time for the bad fella's turn. So one thing is that now every turn that isn't the first turn, there is a event card, which the event will have an effect depending upon either the fear level or the blightedness. So first off, we have civic engagement. On each board, remove strife. If you can't on that board, invaders do 1 damage per land. I was kind of relying on that strife being there. That's a real dick move. Um, Actually, no, I wasn't relying on the strife being there. Never mind. Casualties of Fang and Sting. Destroy 1 uh villager. Is that villager or town, or is it just villager and I think it's just or in a land with beasts. Oh, this will solve my problem for me. Though I can knock out a town too. I mean, it's knocking out a town is actually better than preventing a town, I think. Because the fear progresses. What is the other effect of this card? I will make my decision based on what the other thing here is. On each board, push 3 Dahan from a land with disease into lands without disease. I don't think there's any disease. Yeah, there's no disease. So, on the other hand, this is going to get ravaged next turn. Yeah, I'm going to prevent. I think prevention is better than treatment in this case. So now that build just won't happen. I don't think there will be a build next turn. Okay. Ah, yeah, it is destroy. Got it. Um, so there's that. There's now it's the invaders stuff. Blighted Island, no effect. Now it is time to see our fear card. So currently we're on unsettled. On each board, choose a land with uh beasts, strife, or Dahan. Downgrade a city or town there. Okay. Hmm. This would apply. This would apply. This would, as would you, but not you. So I could prevent a ravage this. Well, actually, I can't because they will still ravage here. Because this will be turned into an explorer. Still might be the better choice. Uh, Obviously, I could choose here too, but The Dahan are gonna knock out that town anyway. Downgrading is not the same as destroying, so there won't be the destroy effect. I think I'm going to accept the blight here. Just a little blight. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to downgrade here. And purpose behind that is that it will slow inland movement slightly. It is very slightly, but I think that it's the best choice. I could have chosen here too, but it's on the coast and it's not as likely to be helpful. All right. So now it's time for ravaging. They will ravage here. I guess it's a little bit more than just a small amount of blight. They will try to ravage here, and they will. They will do 1 damage to the Dahan, and the Dahan will attack back, destroying this town, which will increase our fear by 1. This defense is gone. They will try to build, but they can't. And lastly, they will explore into the wetlands. Well, there's only 2 wetlands they can explore into. They can't here, and they can here, so just the 1. Good stuff. Lastly, progress. It's time for the slow powers, just mine. So, my powers are based on my sacred sites, and now I have the 1. So I can move my presence to 1 spot and deal 1 damage from that spot. 1 damage only. I think I'm going to go here and kill off one of these explorers. Alright, time passes. That was my slow power. That time passes. I do have to check something. Okay, this stayed and those stayed. Wait, why is that here now? Oh, because it had to be there. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So, here's the thing. I now have 0 cards to use. I could gamble to get another card. The amount of energy I would have in that situation is 4 still. Or if I get my cards back, I'll just have 2 energy to play with. That's rough. I'll be able to play 2 cards still. So there's that. I'll be able to move some presents around. They're going to try to build here, and they just can't build in that spot. I'd love to remove them somehow. My ability to do damage isn't so great, though. Maybe I can work on something. They are ravaging in the mountains, which basically is irrelevant. They're building in just this spot. And I basically stopped them from building anything significant here. So, with that being the case, actually, maybe I could get away with the card strat this turn. Like, let's say that I went with some stuff. I could defend. That's pointless. I could do another one of these. The problem is I have no other options for that anymore. It's kind of expensive too. Oh, this wasn't supposed to be from my tracks. Understandable. I was just supposed to get an extra presence. Okay. So this should still be here. So actually, I'm down to 1 energy per turn. Uh, I do have an extra presence just from somewhere. The void. Or is that a cost? Do I just lose it? Also, I put it in the wrong place to begin with. It should have been here. It still would have moved into here, though. But if it was a cost, that'd be different. Maybe it is a cost. Maybe I was supposed to lose that presence rather than removing it. Would that change anything? Kind of. I'm assuming that is the case. And in fact, this would be the situation. Um, I don't know if you lose this or if it's destroyed. I sometimes the cards are kind of confusing. So basically, I lost presence by using that card. Hope that it helps in the future. Kind of not going to want to use that card again. So with that being the case, I think I'm going to gamble again. Um, take my presence, put it here, and then I'm going to gain a major power again. I'm just going to forget that power I just used. You can forget them in your discard as well. I don't think I need to be fast. This is a funny one. Target spirit gains a major power by drawing 2 and keeping 1 without having to forget another power card. Um, it's pretty crazy. It does also basically. It is pretty crazy. That's almost worth getting right now because it just sort of ramps me for the late game. Irresistible Call, gather 5 towns, 5 Dahan, 5 beasts, and 15 Faders skip all actions and target land, isolate target land. Death falls gently from open blossoms. 4 damage, only in jungles and sand. If any invaders remain, add disease. If you have those colors, 3 fear, add 1 disease to 2 adjacent lands with invaders. Range from a land with sand that you have presence in to any land at slow speed. Destroy all explorers. Add green. Add wilds. Add another wilds in the originating sands. 1 damage per wilds in and adjacent to target land. That that would sort of slowly start doing stuff for us. Also, I need to remember to gain my power from this. If I could use that every turn, I won't be able to use that every turn until 2 turns from now, though, because I'm going to be losing um power. Hmm. Sands, huh? So I could choose here. Stop exploration. Stopping exploration, I don't know if is all that important in that spot. Stopping building was what was important, though it kill destroy all those. So if I chose, I can choose that one. So that's the thing. It has a range of sand land. So I could put two in here and it'd just be super hard to explore into this one. I'd kill off two of those. Or I could kill them here, kill them here. Where's Ravage this turn? And mountains again, not important. I could wipe them all out here, which they are very annoying here. I'm just sort of like ignoring this area up here, which I'm sure the next time we get a sands is going to be a problem, but I think it's fine. Also, I need to unstack my Dahan. Or I could just go with this one, immediately get some major powers and just. Is it worth it though? It has one benefit that it uses every color. So if I need any other colors, it just sort of like gives it to me. Unfortunately, I don't get to play the major color um power that I get. So I would just be doing nothing with my cards this turn if I did that. If I went with this, I could maybe do something, though I won't be able to use my innate power by doing this one. I won't be able to really use my innate power doing this one either, to be honest. Right? Not until I unlock water. Though, have I done my? Have I moved my presence? I did, didn't I? Yeah, to get the three. Hopefully, that's not something I'm forgetting to do. Um, this is really tempting. I wish the major powers are a little less expensive. I know there are ones that are less expensive. Hmm. This one just doesn't do anything for me, or power wise. Its ability is strong. Hmm. This one just deals 4 damage in sands and jungles. Damage is useful. 4 damage still. That kills a city. We don't have cities, but I could just destroy there. Could even destroy up there. It's closer. It's at slow speed, but that suit kind of doesn't matter right now. Yeah, yeah, it kind of doesn't matter right now, to be honest. I think I'm going to go with that. Just being able to do 4 damage, it might be worth it. I don't know if doing 4 damage would wipe them both out. I don't know if you need two, like, at an instance, or if it would just be combined damage. I'm a little rusty on things. I'm gonna go with this one because again, speed's not super important right now. The major power one is rough giving that one up. So I do need to forget a power, and it's gonna be this one. Let's grab a reminder. Oh, sure. Each set aside and -1 energy income per turn after pieces are added or moved to market land. Move all of them to oh, any one land. Yeah, I think they can just go anywhere. There's nothing that says that it can't just be to anywhere. Mm-hmm. Sure. Anyway, uh, let's gain our power and oh yeah, you need to forget this. Um, Casting that. Basically, we have no innate power this turn, which I think is fine. Uh, Pay for it. Flip. No fast powers. Okay, it's the invaders' turn, so they get another event. No bravery without numbers. Invaders do not ravage in lands unless there are more invaders than the current terror level. So they're not going to ravage anyway. Prey on the heedless in each land with one damage per. Okay, okay. So doop doop. Those are the only lands that have them. Yeah. Yep. This is actually going kind of well for me so far. Leave the hostile land, and each land push a Dahan or Badlands to lands without Dahan. So in each land, push one Dahan. Oh, per that in lands without that. Okay. Is this the only Badlands we have? There's Badlands here too. Oh yeah, there was a beast up there. So I can move these somewhere. Um, where do I want them to go? Is a great question that is difficult to answer. I think here, I kind of like the idea of them being here too, but I think it's fine. Uh, it's whatevs. Okay, that's the event card. No fear card this turn. So they ravage. There's nobody in the mountains. They build in the wetlands. Well, I have my sacred site in the wetlands, so you get an explorer rather than a town, and then explore. In mountains, escalation 1. Cool. So we're going to talk about escalation now. So escalation is whenever they escalate, they get this effect under escalation. On each board, there's only one board because there's only one player. Add 2 total among lands with those. If you can't, instead add 2 among lands with um, beasts on a different board. So I believe you just add 2 to any lands that have beasts. They're exploring to mountains right now. Exploring the mountains right now, huh? They can't even explore into mountains right now. So beasts, huh? Could move them back here. Don't think I want to. Or I'll put one there. No, put them in areas they're already in. Here, and I guess over here as well. It'd be stupid to put them in the area that has, you know, uh, that they're building in this turn. And they're, um, sure, sure. You know what? That's that's that. And then they explore into mountains, but they cannot explore into mountains because they have no access. No access, no access. So, slow power turn. I can deal 4 damage to any jungle or sands. Oh, actually, I should have had them go here because I would have just done damage to them. I'm going to do that. Here. Because I'm just going to do 4 damage here. No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. 4 damage there. If any invaders remain, add disease. Boom. 4 damage. And then I gain 1 fear from an island's being destroyed. The deed is done. And we will pass time. Okay. Okay. So, I'm only get 2 energy this turn. What's happening? So they're ravaging in the wetlands, which is a problem for me. So I better do something about that. And building in mountains, not relevant. I really need to escalate the fear zone. That's really what's making this game take a long time. My fear is kind of slow. How did I get an extra to hot? Oh yeah, I moved them in. Show. They are ravaging here. So something about ravage that I haven't mentioned. If they do blight a land that I have presence in, I must remove 1 presence per blight that is added. I can have blight and presence in the same land. It's just whenever it's added to a land. Hmm. I could defend in this land, and that wouldn't solve the problem. And then the Han will kill that town. Probably would do it for me, honestly. It is so hard to get more cards. I probably should have taken that extra card just for the sake that it would give me extra cards every time I played it, though getting to actually play it is kind of the kind of not easy. Hmm. Could I play 2 cards that have Earth on them this turn? Yes. I could. Okay, well, let's reclaim all. So I can move one of my presents into any land that I'm already in. I think I'm going to move it into this one. Probably. Into here, I think. Hmm. But which one do I want? Let's see. If I had three, could I possibly unlock this next one? Oh, I should have been pushing Dahan this entire time. I've been doing this all wrong. Cool. Um, could I get the two moons at the same time? No. So I will not unlock this turn. So fine. I'm putting my extra presents here. Yeah. I think I'm gonna use. No, I can't use both of those powers. I have to use this and this one, or this and this one, and I got to use this one. So I will get one of my slow powers and do this, which gives me fear. So that's worth something. This also gives me fear. Intractable thickets and thorns. Okay, gain -1. Let me minus. Then pay. Flip. All right, fast power time. Fear goes up, and I will defend here. Just checking. I can choose this one, right? I can. 5. Okay. So, pushes them, huh? Well, not relevant yet. That's the end of my slow powers. Now it's time for the invaders, so they get an event. On each board, add. Oh, add a city to a coast that has cities. They have no cities. Thank God. Pestilence arrives on canvas sails. On each board, add a disease to a coastal land with the most towns and cities, minimum 1 in that land, and 3 damage to Dahan. So I want to choose one that doesn't have Dahan in it. And it's really just that one, ain't it? Yeah. This means that whenever they try to build here, they're not able to build. And clever operations. Each spirit may push one of their um presences from a land with the Han. 2 damage in the land pushed to. Oh, I can do 2 damage somewhere that I'm pushed. Then this defense wasn't even necessary. I could move here and just wipe these guys out. I could move here and wipe these guys out too. And then using 1 damage also wipe them out. I think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to push here, 2 damage. I'm going to knock this town out this turn anyway when they ravage. So, yeah. Then, that's the end of the event. There's no fear card yet, unfortunately. I need to get working on that fear. So, blight, nothing, ravage. They will attempt to ravage here, but it will be completely defended. And the Dahan will do 2 damage to this town. Town will go. And more fear is spread. Ravage, build. There's no explorers on mountains, so yep. And then they will explore 2 jungles with escalation. Okay. Jungles, huh? Here. Here, but I choose for them not to go here. I will choose for them to go here instead. Or here, actually. Here? I don't know. I think here, actually. Yeah. No, here. Definitely here. Escalation. Oh, wait. No, there's more. There is 1 town down here, and it's connected to 1 land, so they will explore to there. And then the escalation will occur. So here and here, I guess. Man, I need my fear to go. All right. Slow power time. So my slow power is 1 fear. Thank God. And push 2. It has to be a land 2 away from a center, so 2 away from any of these. So I could push there. Could push here as well. And here. What's happening when wetlands now? Nothing. Nothing's happening in wetlands. Has there always been a guy here? That's kind of annoying. Um, Pushing to here. Then my other slow power. 1 damage and push 1. Could move into here. And knock one of these explorers out. Or move into here and knock this last explorer out of this area. Yeah, Then I can push some Dahan into there. So I'd have double there. This, kill him. Weird, but you know what? It's actually all I can say is weird. Them's my slow powers, and that's the end of turn. Huh. So, this turn I will be gaining a minimum of 2 energy. Problems, there's going to be some building in the jungle at least 2 spots. Now I do get the ability to use this Falls Calamity, which is neat. It's basically nothing I can do to stop them from building other than moving my presence. I would have to double do that. That's a rough one. I should probably, I guess I just gonna have to accept. I don't like accepting. This is usually the point of the game where I'm like, I'm doing better than I've ever done before, but I'm just kind of tired. How long have I been streaming for? 3 hours now? I suppose half of it was Minecraft not working. But I'm getting tired and kind of hungry. So this is this is this is Spirit Island, everyone. This is a game that I've been introduced to lately, and it's a fun game. It takes a long time. I like the idea of playing the Blight mode, just not single player, because I feel like, sorry, the Blitz mode, because it would make the game faster. But the extra exploration just seems like it's too much for a single person to keep up with. Um, but yeah, Blitz mode with like 3 or 4 players, I feel like is the right way to be playing this game. Anyway, uh, I enjoyed. Oh, this area should have gotten an explorer too. Anyway, I enjoyed all this, showing you this game. Um, I'm going to in stream though. So let me go see who is out there. Um, in the Aether to raid into. Hmm. Mentally, uh, kind of tired. Um, who should I raid? Is the question. None of the usual suspects are around, which makes it difficult. Um, hmm. I'm going to raid into this fellow named Puppet. He's a guy who does a lot of Magic Gathering stuff, and as you know, I love me some Magic Gathering. I've played Magic with him a few times. Currently, he's making some playlists and showing off some cards that he bought IRL. So I hope you all enjoy watching him, and I hope that you come by soon. Tomorrow, I'm going to be playing Magic the Gathering actually with some other people tomorrow night around this time. So look forward to